Yo, what's going on? It's your boy BigDonSkillz. We got another video today, and we got a new series coming out. It is called the Unpopular Opinions. So this is based off of my own Discord, where I have a section where we do unpopular opinions. So anybody's able to express their opinion on how they feel about something. And sometimes you get some good ones, other times you get some pretty whack ones. But this is an interesting one coming from the homie CXium, which to this day he's never told me how to properly pronounce his name. But shout out to CXium for this. And what he actually says is Pokemon Red and Blue are the worst games in the series. These games are very broken, even by 1998 standards. And my immediate reaction was, yo man, where's the freaking ban button? When am I booting this guy out of my Discord? Yo, when are we kicking him out, man? He's been in my streams for a while. Why aren't we kicking him out the Discord, bro? Bye. Get out of here. Deuces. Nah, I'm kidding. But it brought up a really interesting comparison. And I hate to be this guy, but actually, no, I take that back. I don't mind being this guy. Where a lot of times the age difference will definitely kind of spur the opinions of a game that someone's played. So I came back with a response of saying that everything in 1998 was broken, and if you weren't a kid growing up on it, man, freaking link cable battles were ahead of its time. The Game Boy Color was starting to get popular at the time as well, and the missing go glitch is literally one of the greatest glitches of all time. I remember having a level 222 star me that I would only use in link cable battles because my friends would only use the all legendaries team. Plus the rumors with how to get Mew and fake theories added more to the fun. The internet wasn't really that viable back in the day, and you youngins gotta get schooled. So I added a little bit of flavor to it. And other than the missing go, any other glitch was unknown by most people, and times were very different back in the dial-up days. And yeah, and this is just coming from someone who literally got Pokemon Blue that Christmas. My brother got, I think, red version, I'm pretty sure, and I got blue. And I remember it like it was yesterday, man. I was so excited for it. You know, I had my little black Game Boy Pocket. Like, it was just so nostalgic to me. And playing those games, I mean, the content back in the day felt like an overload. Like 150 Pokemon, you know, that was quite a lot. You could only get version exclusives. Like, it was just so dope. And then hearing about the missing go glitch, you know, and having to figure out certain things by, you know, picking up, what is it, the Prima strategy guides. Like, it just added so much to the game that I think a lot of people that maybe, you know, didn't grow up on it, which you can't blame them for, don't get the experience. You know, I love the fact that, like, I learned about the missing go glitch, and I was able to level up crazy. I think you could do it literally up to 999. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I would level up some of these Pokemon to really high levels and only use them in link battles, because the second they earned experience, they would jump back to level 100, no matter what level they were at. So that star me, like I said, I would only use it against friends who would use legendary teams, because I hated legendaries, even from when I was a kid. I just thought they were too powerful, and it took away from the fun of the game, right? You had me and a few of the other homies, shout out to Patsmere Ninja, Deku, and Illphil, who were all kind of born, or at least played the game through that time, and I think the nostalgia is really what made the games great. Now, CXium comes with a reply where he says, here's a link of all the glitches in Generation 1. There are so many, and some of them don't even make sense, to the point where a lot of the battle mechanics don't work. For example, Focus Energy, a move that was supposed to raise critical hit chances, instead lowers it. But how does something like that happen? Also, the Psychic type move, or I'm sorry, the Psychic type was way too powerful, because the only moves Psychic were weak against were Bug and Ghost type moves. This led to the move Lick, which only has a base power of 20, to be the only damaging Ghost type move. And the most Twin Needle, which is only learned by Beedrill, who is absolute trash and also weak to Psychic moves, is the only decent Bug move. Also, special defense and attack were combined into one stat, meaning that every Psychic type could deal crazy damage and not take that much back. Every single Psychic Pokemon in Gen 1 had a high special stat. I could keep going on forever, but these games have aged terribly. And with other Game Boy games such as Kirby or Mario Land, I can play through without encountering a single glitch. but with Pokemon Red and Blue, it's literally impossible to do a complete playthrough without running into an unintended mechanic or glitch. In that sense, the game is comparable to Sonic 06. Ooh, see, harsh words. Once again, what I like about this debate is that CXEM brings facts to the table. It's not a blind-headed opinion, although I do disagree. It's not a blind, oh, this game sucks, I don't like it, just doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's actually a thought process behind it. And my response, and like I said, I'm always going to be biased towards the older games just because of how much they influence me. I won't even front on that behalf. Those glitches that were mentioned, and the website that was provided, I pretty much have never heard of any of those glitches before. And that's because when you're a 7-8-year-old kid, you don't really notice these type of things. And I think CXM also came from the opinion of like a competitive standpoint, which old games weren't meant to be competitive. So there's going to be a lot of broken things. Man, look at Street Fighter 2, dude. Look at how Street Fighter 2, being a game that like was literally the foundation for fighting games, had some of the most broken mechanics ever. Like, I think grabs had 0 frame startup, things like that. There were just certain things that were just completely broken for no reason. But when they made this, they didn't think that people were going to be, essentially exploiting the game and figuring out what frame data was. And there's just certain things that I think are hard to judge a game by because it wasn't even a thing back then. With new games now, you have balance patches, you can do bug fixes, but back then, if you had to fix a game, you released a completely new game, hence why you had yellow version, Psychic type being broken was something I never knew back then, and it's just not something I factored, because when you play a game like Pokemon Red and Blue, if you're playing it in 2018, 2019, you're playing it just for fun. There's no benefit really to playing this game anymore. It's just so old, and there's already been a remake, which is significantly better. Opinion or not, we'll just all agree that Fire Red and Leaf Green are superior to the originals just because it's the same game but better and more optimized. Although CXEM brings some good points, I think my judgment is clouded by the fact that the game is so old and nostalgic. Now, he mentions that the game is comparable to Sonic 06 with the glitches. That's disrespectful. Man, Sonic 06 is ass. Like, that game is omega trash. Pokemon was a good game. And yeah, I could probably agree. It probably hasn't aged very well because every other Pokemon game has improved. Look at what Gold and Silver did on top of the original Red and Blue. And a good example comes from the comment that Deku posted. I think Gold and Silver are the best. It brought so much to the Pokemon series that it is the only game where every change made it to subsequent games, outside of visiting other regions. Day/night cycle? Check. Baby Pokemon? Check. Breeding? Check. Affection having results on Pokemon? Check. Berries? Check. I could go on. The only other major game to show major innovation after that was X and Y, in my opinion, even though it was mostly visual. 100% agree. Even though it's slightly diving off the topic, Gold and Silver took the problems that were in Red and Blue, made significant changes, and added a great set of Pokemon. Debatably the best, but that's up for opinion too. Generation 2 was a very good addition to first generation, and being able to have 16 badges is literally unbeatable, in my opinion. One response that CXEM has as well is that I mentioned earlier that glitches were the fun part. It made the game very exciting due to just the nostalgia of, like I said, the internet being so like young in its infancy, really, where there wasn't nearly as much information, and a lot of people were more prone to believe what they saw on the internet. He says, a lot of people say that the glitches make it fun, but that's subjective. What's not subjective is that these are glitches that were not intended. The fact that Gen 1 is popular because of glitches just shows how broken that game is. The only thing I can think that's good in Gen 1 is how open the games are. After Misty, you can do the gems in any order with the exception of Giovanni, But that's the only thing that I can think of that I like about Gen 1. Give this game 5 out of 10. Not enough artillery. So funny statement there. Gen 1 being popular because of the glitches, I guess that's something I'm not aware of, but it only makes sense at this point. The game being broken is not a bad thing. I mentioned Street Fighter 2 earlier. Street Fighter 2 still has a competitive scene, which I literally just watched in CEO, and it's really exciting. It's one of the most exciting broken games I've ever seen. Even Marvel vs. Capcom 2 game is completely busted, but that's also the charm within it. And if you're someone who isn't into the glitches, the games are very fun in their base form without trying to exploit it. Just as much as you can say that it's subjective that the glitches make it fun, it's also just subjective to say that the glitches make the game bad. Not having enough artillery in it, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have to ban artillery in the future streams. Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much the summary of our opinion. Like I said, my homie bought some good points, some valid points. I have my opinion, which is obviously gonna be biased from my growing up, my upbringing, the nostalgia factor. What do you all think? Do you think that Pokemon Red and Blue are the worst games? And if so, why? Do you think that that comment was correct or incorrect? Do you agree with what I said? Do you think what I said was correct or incorrect? I want to hear everybody's opinions on both sides. Of course, you got the comment section here below in the channel. You also have the Discord, which is where all this goes down. And when I see future content, future opinions that are worthy of a great debate, you know, like I said, this was a good debate that no one was attacking anybody. Everybody stated how they felt. You agree to disagree, and life goes on. So I like to see stuff like this. If you want to jump in the Discord, also check out my Twitch channel. I have a lot of other content going on where I'm actually running through Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver for nostalgia purposes right now. Check me out, yo. Let me know what you all think of this video. I want to try something a little bit different. And if there's enough feedback, I'll definitely be continuing on with the unpopular opinion section. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Hopefully I'll see y'all on the future videos. Thank you all. Have a good night and deuces.